Hey guys, I'm Dr. Tobisch with Whitefish Chiropractic. In this month's video series, we're going to be looking at some of the motor control exercises that we give our patients in the non-surgical knee replacement program. So these motor control exercises are geared towards improving movement patterns, or basically improving the coordination and timing of how our muscles are acting on our joints to keep them in safe and stable positions as we move around in the world. So next up, let's look at a couple of the common ones that we send home with our patients. First exercise we're going to look at is going to be done from a bear position for a retrogenu dysfunction. So this exercise is basically training our brain to be able to flex the knee and extend our hip without a bunch of compensatory movement in our lower back and our pelvis. So let's check it out. To get started, you'll just be in a quadruped position on your hands and knees. So first thing we want to do is kind of find a neutral spine. So we're going to round the spine up, let the spine fall, and then kind of find the spot right in between those two. So this is going to be the position of our spine that we're going to want to maintain throughout the exercise. So we'll stay here. Next up, we're going to come up into a bear position. So we're just going to hover the knees. Now we're going to bend one knee, and then we're going to start to extend the hip. Only go as far as you can or bite off as much as you can chew. So what we don't want to do is come here and extend our spine, come out of that good neutral position. So once you complete one rep, you can rock up into this kind of downward dog position, then we'll come back into the bear position. And again, we're going to bend the knee, then start to extend the hip as far as you can without losing that neutral spine. Then we'll come back to the start. That is our bear exercise for retrogenu dysfunction. The next exercise we're going to look at is going to be a transition exercise going from a high oblique sit to a knee supported side plank. This is for a mediogenu dysfunction. Let's check it out. To get started, we're going to start in that high oblique sit position. So you're basically going to be side sitting. The downside knee is going to be just within 90 degrees. Same thing with the top side. Your flat foot will be just past your shin on the downside. With your upper body, we're going to keep a good strong arm and shoulder kind of pushing the ground away. We don't want to be in a bad position where the shoulder's kind of up by our ear, sloppy shoulder girdle, so keep that strong and stable. Same thing with the core. We don't want this to be flopping off to the side. We're going to keep the core and spine in a pretty good position, so strong through the shoulder, strong through the core. Next thing we're going to do is use predominantly this top leg to drive into the floor and bring us up into this knee supported side plank position. Then we can come back down to where we started. So if you come up into this high position, we could basically float this bottom leg. And if you're doing that, you're going to start to notice that you're feeling a lot of activity in the adductors, or this area on the inside of your thigh. And that is basically the reason that we're doing this exercise. If you were assigned this exercise for your home care, we're doing this to try to improve this area's ability to play a role in stabilizing the knee. All right guys, next exercise we're going to look at is going to be a lunging exercise to help improve a lateral genu dysfunction. So for the setup, all you need is a resistance band and something that'll slide on the floor. Typically a piece of paper will slide well on hardwood or on short carpet, so I got a piece of paper under my off foot. Next up, we're going to take one end of the resistance band. You're going to go under the base of your big toe and the ball of your foot. Next, the band is going to go behind your leg, then up around your knee, and now you can hold on to the other side of the band with your off hand. So this is kind of giving you some support points. If you were to lose good positioning and stability in your foot and it starts to tilt out, well then the band's going to shoot out from under your foot. While you're going through the lunging motion, the part of the band on the outer portion of your knee is giving you the cue to not allow the knee to cave in while we move through knee flexion. So let's take this band, we'll go under the base of the big toe again, behind the leg, up around the knee, then we can hold on to the other side. The next part we're going to do is we're just going to perform a lunge while keeping this leg in a good position. So the off foot can go back, back, back until we come down to the ground. Then we're going to come back to where we started. Come down to the ground and back to where we started. Again, as I'm descending into the lunge, I'm not going to let the band pull my knee in. That's basically the point of the exercise, to train everything above and below the knee to keep the knee in a good centrated position as we go into knee flexion. All right guys, next exercise we're going to look at is going to be another transitional movement going from half kneeling to a high oblique sit position. So to get into half kneeling, basically just take a knee. And if you're gonna be on the floor, I'd recommend getting something nice and cushiony for underneath your downside knee. The next part of the movement, I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see a little bit better, but the next part of the movement is we're gonna start to sit back with our hips towards the floor. So with your upper body, we're gonna slightly rotate away. You can have your arms extended as kind of a counterbalance. Next thing we're gonna do is, again, we're gonna lead with the hips coming down towards the floor. You can come back up to the start position. You're gonna notice pretty quickly, you're gonna feel a lot of work being done here in the glute and the hip. It's basically the reason we're doing this exercise. The muscles in this area of the hip play a huge role in stabilizing our knee. So the part that's gonna be difficult is gonna be getting the movement from your hip and not your spine. Most people are gonna start to sit back, we're gonna lead with the hip, and then we're just gonna dump our spine forward. Again, we don't want that. You don't need to keep your spine like straight as an arrow, but we want to keep a relatively neutral spine throughout the movement. So one thing you can start with is just biting off as much as you can chew, even if that's just small partial reps. So again, we're going to slightly rotate away, start to sit back, lead with the hip. If you could just get to here, well then I'd hold here for a couple seconds, come back to the start. Another thing that could be really helpful is holding on to something for some support to help you get into that position in the first place. So if you had a resistance band or even just something stable like the side of a squat rack, you can grab onto that. And again, we're gonna rotate away slightly, start to sit back with the hip, and you can hold on to this for some support just to see what it feels like to get into that position. Then you might let go of the rack, see if you could support yourself there, and come back to the starting point. So again, that is going to be our transitional movement, half kneeling to high oblique sit.